And welcome back to episode of Mr. Truth. I'm your only host on the show. I will always be your only host on the show, and it is Thursday. So this is my typical. We're typically going to talk about what I normally talk about today. And yesterday, I had to have a lot of videos on Dr. Fauci. Oh, Bill Gangbang, acknowledge me. Thank you. And there's a lot of Fauci stuff, a little bit of comedy at the beginning because, well, in a world where everything's fucking stupid and you have people showing up on other panels calling people pedophiles and then getting booted, why would you do that in a random panel? It doesn't matter. We'll go over that tomorrow, though. We're going to go over that tomorrow. And I found some interesting videos that we're also going to go over tomorrow. And some of them already made it into shorts. The DUI one, that's true. He said that. I have proof. But that's tomorrow. But what we're going to talk about today is obviously some Dr. Fauci, some fraud, a little bit of Chicago, and yeah. So before we get it all started, everybody get yourself a cup of coffee. If you haven't had one yet, I have. Get yourself something to drink. I know I have. Not the Jeff kind of drink, an actual drink. Apple juice, soda, energy drinks. By the way, new flavor, blue raspberry. I need to be careful because I can actually drink this like it's a fucking Kool-Aid. Product placement. Anyway, we're going to get started with a little song. I was watching TV this morning and I was, looking at stuff, answering a few messages. The song came on TV. I'm like, oh, that's an oldie. I want to play it today. But. I didn't want to play the original version because, YouTube likes to be a dick about that. So what I went and checked. Maybe I'll find another one. And guess what? Found somebody singing it. It's a cover song. What makes it even better, for me, is it's a Filipino rock band. It's not Slapshot. By God, it's not Slapshot. They would destroy these guys, motherfuckers, as far as rock music. But, excuse me. Oh, need to take an antacid. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoy. Let's get ready for the show. Go get yourself coffee, drink, food, whatever the fuck it is you are. If you're over across the pond, it's probably nighttime, so you could probably be drinking. But. Enough talk. I'll be right back. Enjoy. For your viewing pleasure. My fire. Want it that way.
You are my fire, the one desire. Believe when I say I want it that way. But we are 2 worlds apart. Can't reach it to your heart.
Come on, y'all dance.
Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say.
Yes, it's not wrong.
Am I your fire, your one desire? Yes, I know it's too late, but I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartbreak. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say.
Let's move on. What do I have up first? This is, oh, this was a good one. This was a good one. Basically, he ended her friend zone. Or his friend zone. It doesn't matter. Let's.
She didn't like that at all.
Hello,
Hey, man.
Zippity. And,
Is your best friend? You never. How long you gonna keep leading him on like this? You're paying this whole bill? Don't pay the whole bill. You're splitting as friends. As friends, best friends ever. You want him? Hey, you want him? Cute guy, huh? Hey, sit next to her. Come sit next to her. Empty chair in here. Hey, if she's your best friend, she'll understand. Sit right here. Sit down right there.
he's big mad too.
Enjoy your life, man. Were your best friends happy? You're not happy?
Damn.
Don't friend zone, motherfuckers. All right, this one I have to show. I have to show. Because my wife and kids actually tried to do these same things, and well, it didn't quite work out for them. It didn't quite work out for them. I made it look easy. They couldn't even pick up my vest.
When I find myself in times
Look at that
of
rock.
trouble,
Whoop.
Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be.
Oh.
And in my heart of darkness,
You're doing it wrong.
standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be.
There you go.
And the world agree there will be an answer. Let it be.
You're not even wearing. You don't even tighten it up. There. She's wearing the vest.
Maybe part of there is still a chance that they will.
Theo's like, he's such
Little heartwarming gift for I guess everyone that's here. I kind of like that video because it's a memory. Because I did that to them too. However, when you have a rucksack that weighs like 120 pounds, and then you're wearing a vest that weighs 40, 50 pounds, and then you got all the other stuff that go with it, you can, without the rucksack, you're carrying like another 80 pounds just with equipment. And then the rucksack, the word rucksack flop sounds way better. It's like, I don't know, when you're walking a long way, 12, 18 miles with a ruck on your back, and then you go to take it off, oh my God. I assume it's just like taking a bra off for a long fucking day at work. Kind of like when we took our body armor off. Tell you how, that feels amazing. When you're walking around all day and that thing, and you feel like 30 pounds lighter. It's amazing. Let me stop. Let me go back to the main topic. No tangents today. Tomorrow, on the other hand.
a sweet boy. Everyone knows dogs. Like, he's a classic lab. He loves everyone, wants to play with everyone, but I won't let him play with pits. Because the thing is, pit bulls are like Muslims.
Do tell.
By the way, the few people who aren't excited about this are the pit bull owners in this room. Listen, they're not all violent. Most of them aren't. But somehow, almost every violent attack happens with them. They're like the Al-Qaeda sleeper cell of dogs, you know? You'll see a pit for years. So
I think dogs for Al-Qaeda speak, when they go to blow themselves, it's Allah Akbar.
happy, so sweet, and then they get a signal that we don't see, and they're activated, and your face is torn off. And then you have some liberal white woman defending it, saying that you shouldn't put it down, and that somehow it was your fault. They're like, well, all the ones that I grew up with were super peaceful. Great, we should put them in our dog parks because it worked out so well in all the other dog parks, right? This is a breed that was they made it just recently. It's meant for illegal fighting. And we have to pretend that all those years of inbreeding and raising them from a young age to fight, like that just goes away and suddenly they're westernized, domesticated. And you have to wonder if it's a practicing pit. And this isn't a metaphor for anything.
Tonight, the Maryland Republican Freedom Caucus is responding
There's no way I put this already. Hold on. Did I mix something up? I guess I did. All right. Oh, I didn't want to play this one. This one's dumb. All right.
How could you be so stupid? She's cleaning toilets for a living.
You don't need to insult me to defend your
She's
bad
cleaning
argument.
toilets. You go to Logic 101 and you dropped out of college and that's what you got there?
Good argument. These are encounters down at the southern border, calendar year numbers, previous administration compared to now.
All right.
All right.
Border crisis essentially evaporated. I'm asking people what changed.
Well, what changed? I think people did not want to come up here because various factors. One, a lot of the people in South America, Central America, were under a different.
Don't do it. He's a scammer. He's a
Oh,
maggot.
shut the
he's
fuck
a
up.
Trumper.
Wait, I'm not a
Don't
scammer.
even do it.
We're having
Well, you know
perfectly
what?
polite
If you
conversations.
think that J6 is okay, it's not.
We never even talked about that.
Yeah. If you are one of those, you are.
So
If I was a J6er, I'm one of those. Interesting.
the politics in Central and South America
I'll give
have
my thoughts
changed.
after, if you want.
And so a lot of people are less interested in escaping their country to come to the United States. And then they're also afraid of coming here because of so much hostility
Good.
toward
Coming here without
people.
illegally. They're afraid of coming here illegally.
They're afraid of coming here, period.
No, they're not.
The-
They were afraid
these
of
are-
coming
these are-
here legally. Check the World Cup that just ended. They all went back to Europe and they're crying because they fell in love with the US and our air conditioning and our food and our stores. Huh. It's almost like they were lied to.
illegal entries.
I understand.
But you don't
Yeah.
you don't go
But-
somewhere illegally unless your life's at stake or something, you know?
Right.
Not true.
You seek asylum, neighboring country. I guess for you, you said something changed in Latin America. What changed between 2024 and 2025?
Well, these four blue bars, there's something that happened before that you're not showing it for whatever reason.
What?
You don't
I
have
didn't
that
have enough room on
the
the
four
chart.
term. Well, you could
What
have,
is it?
but they don't have the earlier years that incited people to come here.
They do have the earlier years. They do. And it's statistically shown that within weeks of Biden taking office, it was a floodgate.
So there were things that happened politically and economically in those other countries that said, hey, you need to leave this country or we will, or something will be bad. You will die, you will be killed, you're going to starve, whatever it is.
What specifically are you talking about there, I guess?
So whatever happened in 2020 and earlier incited this crowd of people, these 8 million or so people, to come here during these 4 years because they felt that there was a problem in their homeland. I mean, people don't stay in their
Sir, do you mind if I
in
ask
their
what's
homeland.
So if they don't want to come to America because it's racist and shit like that, why would they leave another country where it's just the same way to come to another country where it's exactly the same way as you just described? I don't understand. I don't want to go to America because it's evil, blah, blah, blah. But I want to stay over here in South Sudan because it's so much better here. Oh, wait, we're hungry. There's food. They're dictators. You know what? This is a terrible idea. I want to go to America where the dictator's at least white.
What are you talking about there, just for the audience?
People in Central America who want to come for a safe place to earn income, to be safe from persecution, execution, they might come here. And so during this blue period, something triggered them coming. It wasn't just that you know, somebody became president and all of a sudden they said, oh, it's open, we can go play there.
It actually did.
It isn't like Disneyland.
Specifically, you're talking about under the previous administration, something happened. What happened? What's your basis for saying that?
That they don't just come here without some catalyst for traveling to America, to the United States.
Huh?
Okay. So the overwhelming majority of these, by the way,
Yeah.
economic asylees.
Yep, which doesn't exist.
The overwhelming majority, about over 80%, roughly.
Yeah, sure.
And then, so you're saying, okay, so we don't know what happened before that resulted in this. Now the question is what's happening right now bad or is it good when it comes to?
I think it's
the
terrible what's
crisis?
happening.
I guess the border crossing being shut down for the past 2 years was completely Joe Biden. Because you know what? He was fixing the blue stuff. And it's all Trump's fault. But Biden, for the past 2 years, helped set in motion these mass deportations.
Have enough labor to do the work that we've got in America. We're not going to be productive if you don't have the labor force. Japan went through this where they don't have enough labor, so they've imported millions of people from Indonesia, from the Philippines, because they don't have people to take care of the jobs that generally.
My brother-in-law actually went and got a visa to work as a mechanic in Japan. And then he went home. He got the training. He went home. He didn't stay there. He didn't stay there like they do here.
The middle class workers of that nation don't want to do. Same thing's happening in the United States.
Didn't they just vote to end the mass migration to Japan because it was causing problems?
No, they stopped having babies. The population growth changed. They slowed down, and so they don't have people to take care of the elderly. Being elderly, I want people around to take care of things.
Yes, we do. Most Americans, I think, agree on that one.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, so this is right here. This consists of record-breaking profits for cartels because people are paying cartels to enter the United States.
Record-breaking profits for American
record-breaking
companies
child
as well.
smuggling.
Record-breaking profits.
Consists of record-breaking debts.
Where are your facts about
I said this is what it consists of. You want to
But
pull?
you don't have
Would you like to pull up
anything there to show me
ChatGPT and you can fact check me?
No, they lie. ChatGPT lies all the time. I asked something and they said, "Oh, we made something up." But
what AI do you like, or do you not?
I don't use that.
Okay, fine. Do you want to use Google and
Yeah, go
search
ahead.
record-breaking?
I'm not disagreeing with you
Profits
because
for
if you have volume, if you have volume, you're going to have.
But the
If you have volumes of
cartels can
people.
make a profit without coming here.
Yes,
That-
on
that's
drugs,
not
and then
something
over the
that-
previous.
People did make profits with the illegals coming over. They're still doing it. They're still doing it. These bodegas that are selling fucking kratom with EBT cards. Oh yeah, you don't believe that's happening?
Administration,
Yeah.
humans were as valuable as drugs, enriching the cartels to their wildest dreams.
There's a
But
lot of
when it comes down to that, the reason I'm listing that, you guys, is because is it not good to reduce that? As you get older, your bone marrow slowly
Shut up,
stops
James.
making quality stem cells, and quality production drops.
Of course, it's good.
It depends on how you're planning to do that.
It's good to
So
reduce.
That's a longer
It's good
conversation.
to reduce criminal stuff, but
Record-breaking child trafficking down at the
But
border, good to reduce
to
that.
deport the lady that works cleaning the bathrooms in that hotel right there, that's not the same thing.
not-
So
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. My wife's friends used to clean hotels in Kansas. They all had green cards. They were all here legally.
somebody's not too good at
Well, somebody-
restricting immigration or managing
Are you saying
immigration.
the lady doing that is an illegal immigrant? Is that what
She
you're saying?
might be. She might be an undocumented person.
No, illegal.
Saying she might be?
No, there are a lot of people that come here and work who
Yes.
are undocumented, and that's not something we have to come up with proof about. And there are
Isn't it
people
illegal
that
though?
work here-
So what's wrong with enforcing immigration
Yeah.
law? I guess. Like, what should the punishment be for entering the country illegally? I guess would be my question to you guys.
Then they have to get
Well,
their
you're going to-
documentation.
You're going to punish the people who are
Well, you can do that.
hiring
They don't need. That's not how you enter the United States legally. You don't enter illegally then
And
do
then
that.
apply.
You-
Yeah, that's not how you do
You know,
it.
we grant like 600,000 to 1 million green cards per year. You can come legally. There's a
And there are
pathway for
people
that.
who travel here and then extend, I mean, they go past their allowance to be here from all kinds of countries. Canada, from Philippines, from all over the place. Those who walk over the border,
Filipinos come here,
who might have
come here
crossed
legally, though.
without permission to come in here, typically
Yeah, those-
they're
where
here
you
to
at on
get a
those?
job. I'm okay with it.
Okay, so just no, effectively no immigration policy and basically no borders, basically.
That's not true. I think that you have people.
Well, if you have no
that
punishment for
come
entering
here-
illegally, you don't have any
People
enforcement
who-
to entering in general.
Are you going to do something about those people that are hiring them? I
Really
mean, you
quick,
can't
ma'am.
just
Really
blame
quick.
those people.
Oh, no. Yeah, I think
They
most
should be
people agree
punished
that they
too.
should be in trouble as well. But
Well, no,
I don't know if you
know
agree with
they
that.
should be-
I don't give a fuck if they're here illegally. Oh, this man over here hired us. He's exploiting us. Well, if it wasn't for illegals, who would they, pay for less wages? White people. I'm sorry, women. If you want to make max profit, don't hire illegals. Hire women. Because they make 70 cents to the dollar, right?
Because you're saying, okay, there shouldn't be any enforcement. Then how do you?
So you.
I'm
find
sorry,
a
you
lady
effectively are
you
saying
find a
that,
lady
are you
that's
not?
working. You find a lady that's working cleaning the toilets in the hotel or McDonald's or whatever, and you say, "Hey, you're here without documentation. Here, fill out this application. You need to be a documented worker."
Okay, so that
You
rewards
need to be
the
documented.
action of entering illegally
It rewards the action of coming to this country to get a job.
and entering illegally.
To get a job.
Millions of Americans don't have a job, but you want illegals come and take these jobs? Bro, I think you sit in a house that's on top of that fucking hill in the background. I'm pretty sure you have 3 undocumented Mexicans working in your house.
Well, how do you know they're going to get a
you
job?
just
How do you
said-
know they don't kill somebody
If
drunk
she's
driving?
If the mom is working cleaning the toilets in the hotel, she's not murdering and child trafficking.
How do you know?
You just going to figure out?
Oh
You're going
my-
to wait and see?
That's like asking this guy, is he child trafficking because he's here? That's
No,
that's
that's
the
not.
stupidest logic I've
No, it's
ever
not.
heard
You
of.
don't know who these people are
Just
coming into the
because
country.
They came in the country. You're qualifying that everybody who came in the country
No.
is likely to be a child trafficker.
That's not what I
That
said.
is
You said they're
that is
likely to
the
be
most
illegal.
Ignorant
Yeah.
position I've ever heard
What's
anybody
ignorant
say.
is putting an argument in my mouth that I didn't say and then
Yeah, you
combating
just said,
it.
what if the
Yeah, you
lady
said
cleaning
the
the
same
toilet is
thing
child
about
trafficking?
him.
That is so stupid.
put an
How could you be so
argument in my
stupid?
what I'm-
How's it
She's
stupid?
cleaning.
Anybody can child sex traffic children. Anybody. Oh, she looks like a great little abuela. Yeah, abuela just sex trafficked 13 kids. It's okay because she's here trying to make money.
Toilets for a
You don't need to
living.
insult me to defend your
She's
bad
cleaning
argument.
You
toilets.
are bringing
Peop-
up things that don't
The
have
government's
any-
primary job is to defend the American people. How do you do that when you're just letting everybody in and finding out
They're not just letting
who's a bad egg when they do something bad? That's not how you
Do you
protect
have answers
the
for
American
that?
people.
Yeah.
Yes, legal
They-
immigration and strong
They
borders.
had an immigration program.
What do you think about that?
Yes,
I think
they had an immigration program, but they weren't following it. They weren't following it. 2025 started, they started following it.
The answer to that
that sounds good.
is vetting people who are coming into the country.
Right,
Is
but
that a good
we-
answer to
but
that?
What we're doing right now is we're rounding up people and
You
getting.
know, in order for my wife to get her green card, we had to have proof that we knew each other way before we started applying for the process. So we had to go back, 8-10 years, showing that we had communications. Luckily, we had it.
Getting rid of them when they
It's
haven't
not
done
easy. They
anything
vet.
wrong.
Well, they broke U.S. law, and that's what they did wrong.
I see
Okay,
people
but
breaking
they're
the law
not
all the
killing
time.
people and pushing.
You see
drugs
people
on
breaking the law, but you don't see people entering the country illegally all the time, I would imagine.
I'm not down there, but I
So
see
only
people.
legal criminals have a right to be here.
What?
What?
Well, no,
Only
because
legal criminals can be
Documented,
here.
you can come here and child traffic.
Well,
That's what your
if-
argument is.
If you
As
vet
long as
people
you're
properly,
documented.
it's reasonable. If you vet people properly, you can reduce the risk of
Yeah.
having somebody enter the United States that shouldn't be here. Right?
Well, hey, if you're worried about child trafficking, go talk to the people who are running the country right now, the president and all those people who are connected to child trafficking. You might get more answers.
How is he connected to child trafficking?
Well,
President Trump?
because the people that are his best friend, who he's writing birthday cards for,
No, Epstein
are
hated
known
him.
as child traffickers.
Epstein hated him.
No, they didn't. They were
Yeah,
buddies.
he
in the
did.
90s. They were friends in the 90s.
So
That's
now
true.
you're just making up stuff.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you
There's
are.
a-
Trump actually
They were
worked with federal
buddies.
authorities actually to.
No, he didn't.
Yes.
Now you're making
The-
up stuff again.
the initial
You want to
investigation-
Google that one? You want to look at the AI?
Can't we?
No, I don't waste my time with you.
Why not? Wait, look it up.
Prove him
I
wrong.
don't need to look
Fact
it up.
check.
I know the
Prove
answer.
him wrong.
So you know the answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Doesn't
pull it up.
seem like
It'll,
He
it'll
was.
clarify for the
His
audience.
wife was buddies with the guy. His wife came in through
Trump and
him.
Epstein were.
No, she didn't.
No, that's not true. She's actually threatened to sue for that because that's a baseless point.
No,
And
she
people have
threatened to
backed down on
sue,
that.
only she backed off because then those people said, hey, we're going to expose that she was associated
What's
with.
the smoking gun? How do you have evidence that Trump was trafficking children?
I
What
didn't
is
say
the
that he was
evidence?
trafficking children. I said you talked to him.
Yo,
because
you
those are-
did. You said he was trafficking children. But you didn't say it. Bro, this dude, are you from Rio Rancho?
We're
people were
already
trafficking
trafficking.
children.
He was using them?
They're not
What is
that
your
lady
basis for that,
cleaning
man?
the toilet
Can you
up
pull that
there
up for me?
who's
Well, his
trafficking
name
children.
shows up a few thousand times
Yeah,
in
no, I
this
understand. But what's the
files,
smoking
and-
gun specifically?
Well, you know what? Be nice to find out if they would just
Oh,
release
so we don't
all
know
those
yet
files.
because-
If they would release the files,
If they
that would
release
help
files.
us to
Why
find
didn't
out.
Why didn't Biden do that? Because if he's in there and there's a
Because
smoking
there
gun, why didn't they do
was
that?
action there.
No, they had
Yeah,
access to it.
that's
They were
the
allowed
thing
to.
that, like, it still boggles. Boggles. I've been saying boggles for a minute, by the way. This shit happened in like 2006 and on. Everybody could have exposed this guy. For the past fucking 7 years, they could have kept Trump from being in office. If you really want to think about it. If Trump was on going back that far, they would have used it. They would have used it. I would use it. Like if I knew somebody was doing some fucked up shit, oh wow. Especially when it comes to fucking raping children. No. I'm not covering that shit up.
President of the United
Back
States.
together after a pandemic and the administration before that. Who
Well,
kind
okay.
of
Well, how about
ruined
Epstein working with
everything.
Democrats in Congress when they were impeaching them? He had open communication with a couple Democrats.
Sure, lock
he was
them up,
helping.
too. I don't
Well,
care.
why didn't they, release that smoking gun
Because
of
they're
Trump
rich people
involved with?
hiding shit. Whether they're Democrats or Republicans doesn't matter to us. If they're trafficking children legally, I mean, doing it, not legally, but doing it the rich people way, get rid of them. But the lady cleaning that toilet up there in that
What's the rich people way of trafficking children? I didn't know there was a rich way. What's the poor way?
hotel is not a child
We
trafficker.
can talk about it. 95% reduction in human smuggling at the border. We are celebrating that, but we don't want to clean up the mess. So it is import 10 million people, deliberately import 10 million people,
Well,
and you're not allowed to deport them. Is that the standard?
Release the
This seems
Epstein
beneficial.
Files.
No, we're back
Just
to Epstein.
Release the Epstein files.
You're not going to get a
Once
disagreement on that from me.
Well,
I'd like to have.
good.
Yeah,
Good.
we don't disagree
That's
there.
one thing we can agree on.
But I think probably if I were to guess, you've never talked about it in your life until Democrats gave the false promise that Trump was, smuggling children
That's not
in the
true.
files. If I were to guess, I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Yeah, you are guessing.
I know, I am.
You don't know us.
Yeah.
And you're throwing out things
because
to make us look like we're trying to talk to you out of, something that
You were using your own words, though.
Trafficking.
or something. and
Well, you
it's
guys
not.
certainly had a problem with Trump getting this under control.
I didn't have a problem with that.
I think that's a little bit suspicious when it comes to the
We didn't have a
enforcement.
problem with it. You interpreted that you extrapolated that out of
It's a
nothing.
reasonable interpretation when it comes to the reason why it's plummeted is because of enforcement. The reason why it's plummeted is because people are not coming here because they do not believe they can get away with breaking the law and entering illegally.
You might be familiar with what was happening in Central and South America at the time when all this blue people came in here.
Blue people.
The people in the blue bars. It's your graph.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
they came in
not
here
blue Democrat.
because of stuff that was going on prior to 2021.
It wasn't all Central and South America. It was from all over the world. There was Chinese nationals. There was people flying in from all over because
let's talk about
it was
Islamic
open.
terrorists.
It was
Well,
open.
hey, are you okay with if someone spends $5 million, they get to be, come in and,
I don't
right?
really
Yeah,
like
you're
that
good
much
with that,
either.
the gold card.
But that's certainly much better than mass
has?
importation from the third world. That's
If they're
absolutely
rich
that's absolutely
with
better.
$5 million, they can come in.
Mitch McConnell's
right?
wife,
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
We need tax dollars, don't we? I mean, I don't know.
they're not paying.
The lady working there cleaning toilets is paying a bigger proportion of her income in
assuming
tax
somebody's
dollars.
I doubt it.
What?
No.
The
It's an
lady working
example
cleaning toilets,
because
if
you
she's
asked-
undocumented,
you
is
asked.
paying Social Security. It's being withheld from her paycheck. She's paying state tax. She's buying food. She's buying stuff, and she's paying sales taxes
If she's illegal, she's probably got an EBT.
more proportionally than that $5 million gold card guy that.
Oh no,
comes
I
in
feel like
on
that $5 million gold card guy would actually buy a lot more shit in America. And if he's got $5 million, he's probably coming here to fucking start a business, which, wait, creates jobs.
Plan.
Yeah. So that's an interesting point. When it comes to illegal immigrants, the overwhelming majority work under the table, and they're a net negative of 150. No, it's common sense because it's illegal. It's illegal to employ them. It's illegal to employ them.
You just made that up.
It's illegal to employ them. So yes, that's correct. It's illegal to employ them. Like I just said that.
Fuck yeah.
That's you.
The lady working in the hotel cleaning toilets is not working with some sort of a system. She's not working under the table.
No, my daughter's crushing her labs, her X-ray labs right now. She did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different practicals today. And all of them were 100 out of 100. And she was so fucking worried about that test.
Tax negative of $150 billion per year, and that's a minimum.
You're watching too much Fox News and stuff,
according to the Federation for American Immigration Reform. What is wrong about what I just said right there?
You're just a waste of time. You're just spinning circles like those memes that you roll through with idiots that are saying right then? You're based on a whole bunch of fallacies. Okay. So
explain
we're
it.
Done. No, we're done with you.
You can't explain it because you don't know.
I know plenty.
Okay, tell me.
I know plenty. I don't need to tell you. You're not worthy of my time.
I'll give you $100 right now if you can tell me.
I'm not going to tell you anything. I don't need $100.
I'll give you $500.
I don't need $500.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Democrats will tell you that's not happening. I mean, construction workers get paid under the table too.
It's because you don't know. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, that's a great argument. I'll give you $1 million.
That's real cute.
I'll give you $1 million if you can prove that the lady out there cleaning toilets is undocumented, doesn't have stuff taken out of her paycheck.
Well, that doesn't.
Do you have $1 million? Do you have $1 million to cover that bet?
New tonight, an investigation is underway in Uniontown, Fayette County after a man was found dead in his car this week.
You know, growing up in the United States, as teenagers, right? We all got those balloons. We inhaled the helium. And we made our funny voices. Some of us may have gotten the fucking whipped cream and did whippets. And there was some idiots, like the one I had in Iraq, where I had to send him to fucking Landstuhl, inhaling air dusters. All stupid shit. All stupid shit. But now, smoke shops apparently have it for free. Well, not free. You can pay for it. And it's labeled as a food.
Investigative reporter Erica Stanish has been talking with local authorities about what they found inside his car and the warning they're now sharing about the dangers that come with it.
What's up, dude?
This is what police found inside a car where a man was found dead earlier this week. The giant canister is called Galaxy Gas, a dangerous trend used to get high. The unregulated, legal product now has local leaders sounding the alarm, saying this is a public health risk. This over 6-pound canister is marketed and sold as a food source. Coming in many flavors, it instead is being used to get high with easy access.
There is a regulatory loophole where this is marketed as a food source to make things like whipped cream, hence the name Whip It. So that's why they can get away with selling it in vape shops and A+s and gas stations, everywhere.
This particular canister was sold here at a vape shop along West Fayette Street in Uniontown. The man who died was found in his car in the parking lot.
Inside the vehicle, between his legs on the floor, we located the Galaxy Gas inhaler, the NO2.
Galaxy Gas is the latest dangerous product to pop up in vape shops. While current law in Pennsylvania says nitrous oxide can't be sold for the purpose of getting high, police say those selling it often don't question consumers' intent.
It's a loophole, they're able to wiggle around by marketing as a as a food source, as something to help make food with. The people who make the Galaxy Gas and similar products are a step ahead of us at this point.
Yo,
That's why one
seeing that, where is it at? When they showed the blue bottle,
as a food source, as something to help make food with. The people who make the
this is in
Galaxy
Pennsylvania.
Gas and similar.
This blue bottle right here, when I use my torches to put the burning effect on wood, this is the same color canister that I have.
Products are a step ahead of us at this point.
That's why one Pennsylvania senator is pushing for new legislation that would restrict the sale
Junior.
of nitrous gas in
Alex.
retailers and ban all flavored products. Senator Caroline Comita is also pushing that all nitrous oxide sales are tracked by using an online portal. Uniontown police say they've seen an uptick in incidents involving Galaxy Gas and warns of the dangers that come by using it.
The risk for death is high. It can cause frostbite to your throat
Yep.
and lungs. You know, people are pulling into places and buying these.
Poison your
using
blood,
them,
too.
And then driving. So that's a hazard as well. Injuries and possibly death.
The Fayette County coroner has ordered a toxicology report
There
to
you go.
determine the cause of death in this case and if Galaxy Gas could be to blame.
Oh, that's a fucking giant ass bottle. Wow. Yeah, butane. Bunsen butane. Yeah. It's actually downstairs in my garage. I actually use it during the 4th of July as well and New Year's because I can light fireworks. Yeah, NTF. Oh, she's probably not here anymore.
We do not want to save a lot in our community.
Dozens of Englewood neighbors, together with city leaders.
So when people say we need more government, no, we don't need more government. You know what happens when you get more government?
Voice their concerns outside the new Save-A-Lot grocery store on West
Yeah,
63rd
dude, I
near
didn't think they
Halstead.
were that. I thought they were like the size of maybe an air duster. Oh, sorry. I literally thought maybe they were this size. I didn't realize it was a giant fucking canister. Because even my blue torch, my butane, it's like a foot long. Ha ha.
About that, in 2023, the community protested the opening of a Save-A-Lot grocery store. The city gave the company over $13 million to refurbish and open several of these grocery stores.
City officials, however, tell ABC7 taxpayer money is safe. Under the terms of the contract, Yellow Banana doesn't receive any money until a store opens, and even then, all stores must remain open for at least 10 years or they risk forfeiting the entire amount.
Now this story is ending in the most artistic and poetic way possible.
The operator, an Ohio company called Yellow Banana, agreed to keep them open for 10 years. The stores didn't make it 2.
All 7 Save-A-Lot stores are set to shut down Saturday.
You'll never guess what some are blaming the closures on.
It's the same old story, to be honest with you. And it's not just here, it's nationally when it comes down to black communities.
Yes, of course. Well, here's the official reason.
The city attributes this to the recent death of the CEO of Yellow Banana and cuts to SNAP benefits.
The company says they are also grappling with a 26% drop in SNAP and EBT transactions over last year.
We ain't going nowhere to go. We need affordable things to be able to feed our kids.
I guess the lesson here is be careful what you wish for and always count on the government to blow.
I mean, when you guys burn down Walmarts, Targets, and pretty much anything that, oh no, they're racist, or they got a black person arrested or shot, all right, we're gonna boycott that store. We're gonna fucking ransack it, and you expect business to be like, you know what? It's okay. We forgive you guys for the first 13 times. It's all right. The 14th time, we might consider leaving.
Your tax money in amazing ways. San Francisco also went through this previously, and you'll never guess what they blamed the closures on.
Reverend Amos Brown is calling out Safeway, saying the company's decision to close its location in San Francisco's Fillmore district is just another example of systemic racism.
Nailed it.
This is a slap at black people.
The NAACP is saying the closure of the Safeway in February, Black History Month, is offensive.
It seems like they're just moving all the blacks out.
The chain said,
when in doubt, whip out the racist card.
The decision came about following ongoing concerns about associate and customer safety and persistent issues with theft.
The Board of Supervisors has the moral obligation to not approve any transference of that property, particularly if it excludes African Americans. See this as a first measure of a form of reparations.
Back in Chicago, it's pretty clear,
By the
isn't
way,
it?
if you live in California, you don't get reparations. Where was California during the Civil War? Did they have slaves in California? Probably not. You know what they did? They had Asians and Hispanics.
This is Mayor Brandon Johnson's big chance to follow in the footsteps of Mamdani and open his own grocery store. I can't wait to watch this one unfold.
Yeah, that Mamdani one. Bodegas are going to lose tons of money. Tons of money. So if you support small business in New York, well, maybe that's why he's trying to get capitalism out of the way. 5 city-run grocery stores. What happens when the demand outweighs the supply because you're selling shit 30% cheaper? And you expect people really just going to go in there and, oh, it's 30% cheaper. I guess I'll pay the 30% cheaper when these motherfuckers are stealing in the first place. You think raising or lowering the prices in a city-run grocery store run by the government, total socialism, you think they're not going to steal still? Why would they pay for it? They can spend money on fucking weed. It's never going to solve it.
I went to one of these New York City prep schools. If you've ever seen Gossip Girl, it was a lot like that. I was in class with kids whose parents were famous hedge fund billionaires and politicians and artists. And I have to tell you, growing up in that kind of environment, being surrounded by liberals as the only Republican, that was ghetto. I recently at a show was told
I didn't know the origins of ghetto were anti-Jew.
Some young Gen Z kid, he looks like older than you guys, he told me I'm not allowed to say ghetto. I had to give him a little history lesson. It goes all the way back to the 1500s. They put Jews in ghettos in Italy. But then obviously black people came along and made it way cooler. So I was like not looking at you guys the whole time I told this joke, by the way. But they were with me. But back to my time in the ghetto of New York City private schools. I've spent my whole life in rooms with liberals who assume that I agree with them because, I'm obviously liberal passing. So it's crazy. But I've also been invited to the White House because that's the kind of stuff you get invited to when you're a professional racist.
Wait, what's my invite?
And I have to tell you, our sides were a lot more similar than you'd think. I'm friends with people on both sides. I've had discussions about everything on both sides. We're really the same because both sides are retarded.
You're looking at special needs student Nancy Alexander. She was just 15 years old when she says she was supposed to be learning how to read by a teacher, but instead she got pregnant by him. And after 43 years, she's now breaking her silence. And we want to give viewer discretion on this story. It may be very difficult to listen to and also very difficult to watch.
I was repeatedly raped over the years. She was placed in a special needs class. Those needs were taken advantage of.
We trusted this person to just realize that he was two different people.
Trust me, I know.
Good.
Wow. I tried to commit suicide 3 times.
More than 4 decades have passed, but Nancy Alexander says the trauma still hasn't.
So you were raped?
Yes.
In the school building?
In the Chicago Public School building.
For most children, school is a place to learn. For Nancy, she says it became the place where her childhood was stolen.
It started with the funneling, touching on my breast. And that just went up the line. The older I got, he felt like, oh, I could do more.
She alleges the teacher assigned to help her read became her abuser. As a child, Nancy says epilepsy made reading difficult, and it led her to fall behind grade levels. The school assigned her to a teacher for extra help. She says that decision changed her life forever.
He would tell me I would have to stay behind. Oh, you need to take a spelling test. You know, I'm like, we're on the same, why we all can't take the spelling test together?
Yeah.
Right?
And were you raped this one time and conceived, or were you repeatedly raped?
I was repeatedly
years?
raped over the years.
When did the first rape start? Do you remember how old?
I was about 12 or 13 when he started penetrating me.
Nancy says the abuse left her pregnant at just 15 years old. She gave birth and kept the secret for decades.
I didn't tell for the simple reason that he said he would take me away from my mother and my father. He
That
said
sounds like
that
a typical pedophile.
nobody's gonna believe me because I'm a black little girl from the projects.
A black liberal.
But it wasn't that nice word, black.
What did he
okay?
say?
He said ain't nobody gonna believe you because you're a little nigga from the projects.
She says those words kept her silent until a near-death experience and questions from her daughter.
I was bleeding at the brain. Then my daughter got sick, and I was like, if I'm dying, he can't do nothing to me. But my daughter needs to know who her people are, who the go-to people are. And then I thought about it. I was like, if he raped me, he gonna do the same thing to her.
In October of 2022, more than 4 decades after she says the abuse began, Nancy filed a report with Chicago police. The incident report states the alleged sexual assault started in 1978 at the former John Farren Elementary School.
Whoa! Fuck! That's a long time ago. My wife was born in 78.
Continued through the summer of 1982, including, she says, inside a closet at Parkman Elementary School.
Nobody never seen it. Nobody never came in his classroom. Nobody never said anything to him. It was like he was not there.
Nancy says she was kicked out of the house at just 16 years old and forced to survive.
I said, he's out of town. And then I had to tell her the story. He dead.
Nancy and her daughter wanted answers. She turned to Ancestry.com, hoping to find a relative of Richard Neff. He's the teacher that she says abused her.
We decided to call every number, starting at 7 o'clock in the morning, we would call. 8 o'clock in the morning, we would call. 9 o'clock in the morning, we would call all the way up to 10 o'clock at night. No answer. We finally got one answer, which was his daughter.
What made you realize that the story she was telling you was believable enough for you to drive to Chicago at some point and give up your DNA?
As she was talking and explaining the details, there was one detail that really stood out. And that was the moment that I knew that this happened. And she was talking about when my father would abuse her, he would wear this beige suit jacket on the days that it would happen. And she came to know that that was going to be what happened that day. And my father had this like closet full of brown suit jackets, and I always hated the color brown. And my father was a very methodical person. He ate the same thing every day. He did the same workout every day. He had the same routine. He never deviated. And I just knew from that detail that she was telling me the truth.
That belief became action. For M, she drove more than 1,300 miles from Montana to Chicago to give police her DNA.
I trusted the police to do their job, and they didn't. So I called the, as soon as I heard from Nancy, I got the number of the detective. I called her. I said, I would like to talk to you. I would like to tell you my story. I would like to answer any questions. I would like to be of any help that I can. I'd be happy to give my DNA.
The results answered a question that had lingered for more than 40 years.
The DNA report showed a 99.79% probability that M and Nancy's daughter are half-sisters, with the same father, being Richard Neff. And it also led to another allegation.
I think the reason that I feel so close to Nancy is that we were being abused at the same time.
M is alleging she, too, was sexually abused by him and doesn't want to use her birth name.
The memories that I recovered were from ages 1 to 6.
Holy shit.
Years after the DNA results, the criminal case has stalled. The question isn't whether science connects them, it's whether the law still can.
Look, we have not only knocked on the door of the Chicago Police Department, but we've given them everything, including DNA samples from Miss Alexander, as well as other family members from the culprit in this case.
Nancy's attorney, Jared Adams, says they've given investigators what they believe is compelling evidence, including DNA.
We're talking 2 years having confirmed, no doubt, 99.9% that she gave birth to a child of a grown man who took advantage of her.
Governor J.B. Pritzker signing HB 2135
don't
in
care.
2019. Illinois eliminated the statute of limitations for many sexual assault cases. It was effective January 1st of 2020. But according to a Chicago police report, prosecutors determined this case could not be charged because the previous statute of limitations had already expired and the new law could not be applied retroactively.
Bullshit.
We tracked down Richard Neff, now living in North Carolina.
Oh, they found him.
Now 79 years old. I called him, hoping to give Neff the opportunity to respond to the DNA result.
Hi, Mr. Neff. My name is Tia Ewing. I'm calling with Fox Chicago.
I left a detailed message. He never returned my call.
It's awful and maddening and unfair. I just find that interesting that he found this job on the South Side.
3 women, 1 family, forever changed. 1 DNA test that answered questions only science could. But science can't decide a criminal case. For Nancy, the search for truth is over. The search for justice continues.
What does justice look like to you?
He should go to jail. I want that justice.
And we have heard from the Chicago Police Department on this story. They tell us this case is deemed exceptionally clear to close, meaning they've identified a suspect, but they can't just go and arrest him. And that's because the Cook County State's Attorney's Office says that this case has passed the statute of limitations, saying because of Illinois law.
Well, I understand how it passed the statute of limitation if it was fucking removed by J.B. Pritzker. By the way, J.B. Pritzker is a fucking con man. That dude's got fucking money. But he wants you to believe that he's like a normal person. A normal person. All right. It's been about 53 minutes. It's time for a quick commercial break. Not really a commercial break. It's just something to break up the shut up. Just listen.
Can we get another unit to deal with Jay Lee here? He is having a
constantly be abused, constantly be abused, constantly be abused. I don't have time to constantly be abused. I want you to leave me alone. I don't have time to constantly be abused, constantly be abused, constantly be abused. They are not supposed to be here. I want you to leave me alone. You have been particularly abusing me. Just say it right now.
What'd you say?
Abusing me. You came in with hostile intent. Hostile intent. No. Abusing me. Just say it right now.
What'd you say?
Abusing me with hostile intent.
I've been waiting a couple of days to play this, guys.
To use the right pronouns. To use the right pronouns. To use the right pronouns. Please, Josh. You know it's causing me a lot of distress. No. Use the right pronouns. No. Use the right pronouns.
Okay, Okay, so I'm gonna ask you very nicely. Put your stuff down, turn around, put your hands behind you. No! Can we get another unit to deal with Jay Lee here? He is having a... Stop this! Stop this! Just like me! Stop this! Just like me! Stop this! Stop this! Just like me! Stop this! Just like me! Just say... Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. I must frame. No, please don't scream. Don't say him. Hey, her. I must spray her. I must spray her. Thank you. Thank you. You escalated this. He's gonna be taken away.
Hey, Carmen. You could be right. You could be right. Like I said, I've been waiting a couple days to play that one because it's like, I just loved it when I instantly saw it. And maybe I've listened to it a few times since then, but now I get to play it. Or now I played it. And you guys got to enjoy. And I believe that might be Jeffrey's girlfriend. Anyway, now we're getting to some juicy shit. Happened yesterday in Congress.
You are being disruptive. Would you behave this way in a courtroom? No, because the judge would put you in jail. I can't do that today, but I can have you escorted from the premises. So I would say, sir, sit quietly and don't say another word. I said, sit quietly. You are not recognized. Another word and you're gone.
He's talking to Fauci's lawyer. The lawyer couldn't follow the rules.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to hear what the attorney has to say.
He is not recognized by the committee or the chair. If he speaks again, he will be removed from the room. This testimony is from Anthony Fauci. This is not a game with his lawyers. He can advise. His lawyers can give him advice.
Literally
He's got a half
maybe the first 5 minutes.
dozen here. They're all allowed to talk to him.
Yes.
All right? Yeah. But the attorneys are not recognized. In fact, the attorney was told not to sit at the table, and he's not obeying that recommendation. There's a row behind you, sir. That's where you were told to sit, and you're not. And now you're disrupting the proceedings. And so, look, this is the way Anthony Fauci wants to be remembered. For a lawyer not listening to the rules. That's the way you want to be remembered, and that's what you're going to do. You are not recognized, sir. Security, please remove him from the room.
Hey, listen. When it came to the 2016 presidential election, in the primary, that was my guy. That was my guy right there. Fuck out of here, lawyer.
Let the record state that Dr. Fauci will still have the advice of the other half of us interviewers.
Sir, what were you trying to say in that room?
I have no comment for the press.
But
Thank
what
you.
were you trying to say, sir?
No comment for the
That
press.
that was a public statement you were trying to make, sir. Have you ever seen this happen in
Dr.
a
Dr. Fauci, you're going to hear it. It's pretty fucking, how do I say this? Disrespectful for a man that's killed millions of people to repeat the same thing over and over again, knowing that he has a presidential pardon, and he kind of has to answer it. He kind of does have to answer it, which is why we're going to get to the very end. I think it's like 3 more videos. What's going to happen to Dr. Fauci and I hope it happens. One can hope. So let's continue. This is Mr. Paul.
Come to order.
Oh, shit. Why did I play that original one? I want you to say something. So this is the committee hearing. You got the chair. You got the ranking member. So the chair is obviously Rand Paul, who is conservative. And then to Rand Paul's right, nothing but conservative congressmen, right? Then you have, I can't remember this faggot's name. And then you have this lady who, I don't really remember, because I didn't watch a lot of the Democrat ones because they were just basically stroking his shaft and cupping his balls. But notice how there's really no Democrats there on the right-hand side. They're not interested in what happened with COVID, and Dr. Fauci was fucking funneling millions of dollars.
$1 million Americans died from COVID-19. Some estimate as many as 15 million people died worldwide from COVID-19. Publicly, Anthony Fauci promoted the theory that the virus arose naturally, while privately, he was well aware of a mountain of evidence suggesting the virus originated in the lab. The American people deserve answers. The American people deserve to know why dangerous research was funded by NIAID in a totalitarian country, in a lab that lacked acceptable safety standards. The decision to fund dangerous gain-of-function research in Wuhan, China, will likely go down in history as perhaps one of the worst public health decisions. Frankly, the American people deserve an apology. I hope today Dr. Fauci will come clean, admit it was a mistake to fund dangerous research in China, admit that the risk of this dangerous research exceeded any possible benefits, ask forgiveness, and pledge to help our government devise safeguards so a man-made epidemic never...
Hey, if you're in here and you got, well, pretty much everybody, if you see Community Archives 1, ban him.
...never happens again. Instead of an apology, you have for years avoided responsibility. Regarding the lockdowns, you argue that you did not personally issue every lockdown order, close every school, or impose
But he
every
recommended
mandate.
it.
But officials across the country invoked your authority to justify
He is
these
the science.
decisions. And you presented your recommendations not as judgments open to debate, but as dictates of science itself. Your own words demonstrate that you understood the influence you exercised. On March 14th, 2020, you wrote that the task force recommendations were driven by me, yourself, Deb, and CDC. The next day you wrote that you had convinced Mayor Bill de Blasio to close the New York City schools, so you were involved. That same night, Governor Gavin Newsom's chief of staff told you that the governor had decided to close California schools, bars, and restaurants after watching you on television. Presidents, governors, mayors, school boards, corporations, and Congress all bear responsibility for the decisions they made. The COVID lockdown, however, could never have been inflicted without you aiding and abetting the crime. Children lost
made money
years
off
of
of it.
education.
Well, so did
Small
Trump, but-
businesses built over a lifetime disappeared.
Oh, so did all of Congress. pretty
Patients
much.
delayed cancer screenings and other medical care. Families were separated from dying relatives. Workers were ordered to accept a medical procedure or lose their jobs. Worship assembly, employment, education, and travel were restricted in the name of science. While you did not impose every restriction, you used your public authority to justify them. While you concluded publicly that COVID occurred naturally, your private record tells a different story.
Yo, this motherfucker
early-
literally had a diary. I've been meaning to go over the diary, but then this hearing came up, so I kind of like pushed it in the back. And I've been doing a lot of stuff offline with some cartoons.
2020, your hand-picked virologist warned that the virus appeared to have been manipulated in the lab. In a conference call concerning the origin of the virus, all but two of the participants believed deliberate insertion was possible. Your concern was not merely theoretical. That same week, you led an urgent effort to determine whether your own agency had funded the research related to these experiments that were now under suspicion. Hours later, your assistant reported that the Wuhan experiments had indeed been reviewed and approved by the NIH. Those were not the actions of officials who believed that a research-related origin was an absurd conspiracy theory. They were the actions of officials urgently trying to determine whether their agency funding was connected to the research under discussion, connected to the pandemic. You could not hide that your agency had funded the Wuhan research or your long history of defending gain-of-function research. The only alternative left was to argue that COVID-19 did not originate in the Wuhan lab. You were not a detached observer. You had an institutional interest in the public believing that federally funded research had nothing to do with the pandemic. It was a conflict of interest from the very beginning. The authors of the proximal origin of SARS-CoV-2 privately had serious doubts about a natural origin. Within days, though, they flipped, and they all wrote in proximal origin that the virus was almost certainly not a laboratory construct. That paper was then used by the government and the media and you to discredit Americans who were asking the same questions that you and the authors were asking yourselves privately. You even cited proximal origin from the White House podium. You held it out as evidence that the virus could not have been engineered, but you didn't disclose your role in the discussions that preceded the writing of the paper. You did not disclose the author's original concerns. You did not reveal that you had been part of the paper, that you had read and offered editorial comments on the paper before it was published, before you began using it as evidence that it couldn't have originated in the lab. You did not disclose that you had immediately investigated yourself whether NIAID funding might be connected to the research. You did not tell the American people the full story. Duly released private messages indicate that the doubts with the authors and others didn't disappear after the publication. So while this was being waived at the White House to show that it couldn't come from the lab, the authors were still privately continuing to assign a meaningful probability to a laboratory origin, one thing in public and another in private. Some of the same scientists discussed avoiding email and carefully managing communications that might eventually be obtained under the Freedom of Information Act. The pattern is straightforward. Privately, there was alarm, then an immediate inquiry to see if NIAID's possible exposure to funding, then a rapid public declaration of certainty, continued private doubt, and then years of resistance to disclosure. The question is why? The only logical answer is that your primary concern was avoiding culpability. Your primary concern was hiding the fact that you had approved the funding for this dangerous research. Your support of gain-of-function research is extensive and long-standing. In 2011, your agency funded Ron Fauci's laboratory when it mutated the avian flu until it could spread through the air between mammals. This was the tipping point. This is when others became worried. You funded this. You advocated for this. The federal government's own biosecurity board, though, recommended withholding the details of these experiments because of the danger the research posed. People were concerned that publishing it was publishing a roadmap to creating bioweapons around the world. But you sided with the gain-of-function scientist Fauci and argued that the benefits of publishing the research far outweighed the risks. You defended this avian flu transmissibility experiments as critical research. You wrote that even if a scientist became infected and triggered a pandemic, the benefits of the gain-of-function experiments outweighed the risk. In 2014, your agency, NIAID, began funding the Wuhan bat coronavirus work. In 2015, Ralph Baric and the Chinese scientist Shi Zhengli published NIAID-supported research combining a bat coronavirus spike protein with a SARS backbone. The resulting virus could infect human airway cells. It's a novel virus that now can infect human cells. It gained transmissibility, it gained function. In 2018, the same group of scientists, EcoHealth, Baric, Shi, and their collaborators submitted the diffuse proposal, which involved the insertion of a furin cleavage site into the coronavirus. DARPA rejected it as too dangerous. When COVID was sequenced, though, early on in January of 2020, within days, scientists discovered that lo and behold, it had a novel furin cleavage site, just as had been proposed in the Diffuse project. This was either an extraordinary coincidence or a smoking gun, evidence that the Chinese had created COVID-19. It made the laboratory origin question more legitimate, and it made your categorical public denials indefensible. On May 11th, 2021, you told the Senate, the NIH has never, ever, and does not now fund gain-of-function research in Wuhan, in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. When I gave you the opportunity to correct the record, to reconsider the statement, you responded that you had never before lied to Congress. We were then told that only the government's narrowest regulation of definition counted here, that you could define gain of function in one way in which this wasn't gain of function, in which all of the common sense of the world would be thrown out, all of the idea that the mice were dying and the virus was more transmissible didn't matter because you had a technical definition that allowed you to fund it. But the real question is, was it dangerous? Was it a wise decision to fund this? And you haven't deviated from that. You've never admitted that it could have been a mistake funding this research in China. The American people weren't asking for a semantics debate over what is gain of function. They were asking, does common sense say this research was dangerous in Wuhan? They wanted to know whether their money-funded experiments in Wuhan that made bat coronaviruses better able to infect humans. The answer is yes. They wanted to know whether NIAID adequately supervised their work. The answer is no. When you defended this research, you described its benefits in the broadest terms. But when Congress demanded accountability, you hid behind the narrowest possible definition. You can't have it both ways. Your conduct concerning federal records raises further questions. It is a crime to destroy federal records. Yet our investigation reveals your assistant diligently reported that she deleted tons of emails. In 2024, you testified that you did not delete federal records. Who's telling the truth, you or your assistant? The committee has obtained repeated instructions from you telling federal officials to delete communications. On February 2nd, 2020, one day after Origin's call, you told Francis Collins, please delete this email after you read it. The committee asked for your voluntary cooperation to come today. Your appearance had to be compelled by subpoena. You're here today under duress. You're here today because of the court ordering it. President Biden issued you a sweeping pardon extending back to 2014, the same pardon he gave to his son.
So, fun fact, I just found this out late last night. Fauci's pardon is for federal crimes. Fauci's pardon doesn't cover state prosecutions. And guess what? Florida might start prosecuting them.
Hunter. A pardon may protect a person from criminal prosecution, doesn't rewrite history. It does not erase documents. It does not convert a misleading statement into a truthful one. And it does not prevent Congress from establishing what happened. There will be another pandemic. There will be another crisis. And there will again be officials who insist that uncertainty must be hidden for the public's own good. They will demand obedience. They will invoke science. I am the science, as though it were a commandment. They will argue that government officials cannot be questioned because questioning them would undermine public trust. They have it backwards. It is secrecy that destroys trust. It is arrogance that destroys trust. It is censorship that destroys trust.
Yeah.
And it is the refusal to admit error that destroys trust. That loss of trust may be your most damaging legacy. Trust can't be ordered. It has to be earned. No scientist is above scrutiny. No government official is beyond accountability. And no public servant has the right to treat the suffering of millions of Americans as a footnote to his preferred version of history. I now recognize Senator Peters for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Dr. Fauci.
All right. So this is probably the only Democrat, by the way, he's talking about switching sides. He's talking about leaving the Democratic Party, this guy right here. But when I saw this, I was like, holy shit, Fetterman's in a suit. Boy, when this guy had his stroke and then he disappeared for a month for mental health reasons and went to Walter Reed. I don't know what happened to this guy. Did like his brain fog get cleared out?
I'm not here to perhaps attack you or defend or anything. It's really just more, honestly, I just want to acknowledge I have had members of my family die from COVID, and now I also grieve for people that I've met that have lost their business through the pandemic, and they'll never been the same. Now, as during the pandemic, I was the lieutenant governor, so we were in the middle of all of that maelstrom, trying to find the right balance between protect life and protect the economics and for all of it. And I'm not sure if we got it all right or wrong, but without a doubt, I can continue to question myself. But one that it's not about much more your regrets, but I have one, and that is early on that there was the theory that the virus could have emerged from the lab. And early on, that became like a right-wing kinds of theory. And I thought it seemed to make sense. Now, there was a really advanced lab that was close by, and then you have this unknown virus out. So, but that became a very partisan thing. And now it seems now it's more and more emerging theory that would have come from the lab. Now, I hope, I think that the next time our nation's facing something like this, we are not become, as I might have been, blinded by the partisan idea that maybe the truth might come from a side that's different than you are. But I think we should really be willing to pursue truth, no matter where that may have emerged, after for all of that. So, and I now cede the remain back to the chair. Thank you.
I'll echo Senator Johnson's.
Bro, y'all ready for some good shit? Since Fauci wants to be a retard, I love how they keep making him repeat the same shit. And then they stomp his dick into the ground.
Comments about your opening statement, Mr. Chairman. I think it was
Marty Moreno. I'm not really sure what state he's from right now. Mr.
Fauci, do you know who David Schertler is?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. What does the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution say?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
No, I'm just asking you what it says.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
111 times. However, I love the fact they made him repeat this 111 times. Like a broken record. And for America to see this.
Constitution.
I'm going to give the Constitution to my aide. He'll bring it over to you so you can have it for future reference. I think it's something that every American should know what the Constitution says. Do you know who wrote the Fifth Amendment?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Every American should have a copy of the Constitution and Bill of Rights.
So you're invoking a right that you don't know who wrote it or what it says. Is that correct?
Right.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Wow. All right, let me tell you who David Schertler is for the audience because he was ejected by the chairman. He's a high-profile criminal attorney. He's represented some really great people, like Senator Bob Menendez. Maybe that's somebody who my Democrat colleagues may remember took gold bars
from Egypt
as bribes from the Egyptians. And there's an article here in the Washington Free Beacon that talks about why you would hire a guy like David Schertler. And the comment is, if you're in deep shit, that's who you call. Do you feel like you're in deep shit?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Clearly, what you think today is that somehow you're above reproach. Somehow you feel like you don't need to be treated like a normal American. Can you do me a favor in the audience and stand up if during the time of the COVID pandemic, you were called a racist for calling the virus a Wuhan virus or the China virus? If you thought the 6-foot rule was total crap, if you thought the vaccine wasn't something that you should take, if you thought it was outrageous the way the mask policy was rolled out, if you were fired from your job for not taking that vaccine, including members of the military, if you thought closing schools was catastrophically stupid, and that you thought that during these times saying these things made you somehow a lesser human being.
I mean, social media made it sound like that too. Oh, the
Dr.
whole
Fauci,
room
can you
stood
just turn
up,
around and look at the people behind you?
except for your lawyers.
You're not willing to do that?
Under advice.
That's not a question. It's not a question. To your lawyer, it's not a question. It's a request. All you have to do is look up from your lawyers and look at the people who were absolutely
He doesn't care about
shamed
people. He made his
for
money
saying
back.
what
He's
we
already-
know now to be the truth. You can't even look at them? That's a question. Are you able to look at them?
Under
You can sit
advice.
down in the audience. There was a mom in Ohio during the depth of the coronavirus pandemic. Decided to go to her high school football game for her son. They hadn't been out much. The kids had been learning at school, and then the school got shut down. They hadn't really gotten much out of that education, as any parent knew. That remote learning was no learning at all.
Nope.
But it was a Friday night. Her son wanted to go watch a buddy go play football. So they went to the stadium. They sat alone, far from everybody else, just a mom, a dad, a few kids. They didn't feel they needed to wear masks because it was stupid, because they were outside. They all live together. They're not near anybody. Dr. Fauci, do you know what happened to that mom and that family? That's a question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
They were dragged out of that stadium and arrested. Those policies were put in place because you had moronic politicians that listened to the words of a megalomaniac who was more interested in having met a Kardashian than the suffering of the American people. And that is you.
He got to meet a Kardashian.
Your advice to communities like that, to idiotic politicians who enforce those rules, arrested that mom for watching a football game with her own family outside. When that story broke, I said to myself, I cannot stand idly on the side and watch this happen. It was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses, sell them all, run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the fuck do you think you were for doing that?
Get him.
It is a total disgrace what you did to this country. And if my Democrat colleagues are standing there defending you, I hope the voters of the United States of America watch the clips of every one of you doting on a guy who was more interested in being a celebrity than saving American people. I will make it my mission to make certain that every single one of those Democrats who did that will see that clip over and over and over again. Because there is no defense of what you did. You may have had a 50-plus year legacy of public service, but it ends in total and complete disgrace. So let me ask you an opportunity to answer one question. Will you apologize, just apologize, to the people who you harmed through your actions? Will you say, do you have the dignity to just say you're sorry?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
So you won't apologize to the military member?
Him doing that, basically to me, it's him just being a fucking coward. You're a fucking coward, dude. Stand by what you said. Stand by your actions. You want to take all the accountability for the good shit. All of it. Getting the $1 million. But you won't take accountability for the shit you fucked up.
Members who Joe Biden summarily dismissed from the military for not taking the vaccine?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the business owners that lost their business?
By the way, do you guys know you're paying his $400,000 a year salary? Not Bernie, but well, you're paying for his $174,000. But Fauci gets a $400,000 retirement check every year.
Shatter their lives and they'll never recover?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the moms who had to force their infant children, 2, 3, 4-year-olds, to put masks on, and what that did and how that traumatized those kids?
Under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the family members of the people who died because they took your advice and not only got the first vaccine, but the 5, 6 other boosters that they did not need?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to that mom from Ohio for being arrested for watching a football game with her family?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
So you didn't know who wrote the Fifth Amendment. It's James Madison. Lived in this town. I can only wonder what he would think of somebody like you invoking his writings to shield culpability.
He'd be hung
for the actions that you took. It's no secret why you have to hire the biggest dirtbag attorney on the planet, because of what you did. I hope you're paying him well. And I hope that one way or the other, somewhere, sometime, you answer for your crimes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, nothing says honesty like taking the Fifth, huh, Doc?
Yo, I love the first couple minutes of this, guys.
Let's try something. What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon
Yes,
my
Mark,
rights
he
under
knows
the Fifth
what's about to
Amendment to the
happen.
Constitution.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color's the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Look, even his security guard smirked. You see his security guard smirk?
Answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Let's just get one thing straight. You don't have any rights under the Fifth Amendment because you've been pardoned, as you very well know. As the Supreme Court has been clear for a century and more, Brown versus Walker, 1896, when he has been pardoned, he may not stand upon his privilege. You know that. Your lawyers sitting behind you now shifting nervously in their chairs. They know it. This isn't about the Constitution. This isn't about the law. This is about contempt. Contempt for this body and contempt for the American people. But I think I know why you're doing it. It's because you don't want to answer questions. It's because you did all kinds of terrible things. It's because during the pandemic you got rich, didn't you? You got rich while people were dying, hundreds of thousands of Americans, over 1 million in the end, and you were getting rich. And not only were you doing that, you were using federal employees with taxpayer money to apply for and solicit cash prizes for you personally. Cash prizes totaling over $1 million. You did all of that during the pandemic, didn't you? That's a question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
You remember Greg Folkers? Who was that?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Your chief of staff is the answer. Do you remember Patricia Conrad? Who was that?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
She was your personal assistant. And what were these individuals doing in the depth of the pandemic in November of 2020 when millions of Americans were suffering from COVID? What were they doing? I tell you what they're doing. Folkers was on your behalf soliciting and gathering information for a cash award. Let's look at it. We've got his email right here, right over my shoulder. Folkers says, I'm working on this nomination for the Dan David Award for Fauci. We need to beef up the COVID part. Do you have language in the can that you could share that delineates how we responded in new ways to COVID? He sends this to multiple federal employees. What was the Dan David Award? Do you remember, Doc?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
It was a $900,000 cash award. $900,000 cash award. And he got it.
Oh.
Because he used federal employees to get it. And this wasn't the only award, was it, Dr. Fauci? In fact, you applied for and received at least 8 other federal cash prizes on federal time using federal employees and federal resources. Here they are over my shoulder. Besides the Dan David Award, you've got the Partnership for Public Service, you've got the Adelson Prize, you've got the Smithsonian Award, you've got the National Academy of Medicine's Award, you got the C.
I was watching it. I can't remember if it's near the end. Maybe it was when Rand Paul was closing. Fauci already put the card away. He's reading off a card. And you, like you said, you'd think he would know it by now. Yeah, he read it all the way to the end.
CDC Foundation. In fact, you turned your staff into a full-time application machine. You actually wrote to people and said, do you think maybe I'd qualify? And you got cash for all of this. And it wasn't just 1 or 2 employees, was it? In fact, you used 8 separate federal employees on federal time using federal resources to solicit.
One of the awards got him over almost $1 million. What about these other 8? Like, this dude really was getting rich off of us. He's been doing it for decades. I mean, didn't he have help with, didn't he fucking drop the ball on AIDS?
Cash awards. Isn't that true?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Here they are right over my shoulder. Here's all of them. The people that you use, federal employees, so that you could go and get cash money. And the most hilarious part is that you weren't content to even dragoon them into applying for all of these cash awards. You then had them go out to the ethics agencies and ethics watchdogs and demand that you be able to get the money. That's right. We've got it in your emails. Your staff and employees on federal time, using federal resources, being paid with federal dollars, are soliciting cash for you. And then they're turning around and saying to the agency, we don't want just an answer. We want to get to yes.
You know, when they're going out talking about fraud, all kinds of fraud happening in this country, this dude literally was committing fraud too. But I guess it's covered under that blanket pardon.
Because Fauci wants the money. He wants it. We want to get to yes, and yes takes time. This is your chief of staff again, using federal email to pressure the agency's own ethics people so that you could get money, so that you could get rich. And it violated the law, didn't it, Dr. Fauci? Didn't it? It violated the law, didn't it? Is that a question? It is a question. You can answer. Go ahead.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Several years ago, when I saw Fauci, I made a comment that he's got a very punchable fucking face. 6 years later, I stand by that comment.
As you very well know, prohibits the solicitation of cash awards or other personal benefits for federal employees. And it certainly prohibits using your own employees to do this.
What's up, Dominic?
5 CFR section 2635-205B. It says it right there in black and white. You cannot use federal resources, federal dollars, federal employees, federal offices, federal email, federal time to solicit cash awards. And you did all of it. And the worst part is thousands of people were dying while you were doing it. You were supposed to be the nation's doctor and you're playing one on TV. But this is what you were doing with your time. Isn't that
I feel like Dr. House is a way better doctor.
true?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see why. I can certainly see why. You know what I can't quite figure out is that why you were so obsessed with it, because you're already rich.
Yep.
I mean, and your scheme worked here. I mean, your net worth now is north of $12 million. You got over $1 million in cash awards during COVID, during a 12-month, 24-month span during COVID. $1 million you knocked down in cash money using federal resources. Now you're worth more than $12 million. You've got a pension that in its first year paid out north of $400,000 a year. 1 million people dead, you're getting rich. 1 million people dead, you're using federal employees to get cash awards for you. 1 million people dead, and you're here taking the fifth because you don't want to admit that what really happened in all that time was a multi-month, multi-year course of self-dealing. Isn't that true, Dr. Fauci?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Yeah, well, silence is admission. And here's the real thing. At the end of the day, it wasn't just about the money, really, was it? It was really about a power trip. I mean, through all of this, you want to be the most famous scientist in the world. You were so focused on getting every award and every drop of cash that you could.
Dominic, stop showing our ages.
All because you wanted to be on TV, you wanted to be the sun god of science, you wanted to be the guy who was in charge of it all, you wanted to lambast Trump, you wanted to make sure that nobody else stole your spotlight, you wanted to be the guy. You had time to sit for InStyle magazine.
Crazy.
Here's what you were doing with your time. You could sit for InStyle magazine, but you can't answer questions for the American people. You could sit for InStyle magazine, but you're here taking the fifth. You could sit for InStyle magazine and get $1 million in cash awards, but now the cat's got your tongue. I bet he does. I tell you what, here's my conclusion from all of this. This was really all about you the whole time. Somewhere along the way, you lost your way. You may have been a good public servant at one time, I don't know. But what I can tell you from reading your emails now, from looking at what you did, how you used your employees, somewhere along the line, it became all about you. You became a narcissist and a megalomaniac and a liar. And you've lied to the American people, and you've lied to this body. And you've disgraced.
Are you talking about Fauci or Jeff?
Disgraced your profession by doing it. You called yourself the most famous scientist in the world. You've done more to harm science than anybody in my lifetime.
Rick Scott next.
And I hope you'll go home and write that in your diary.
Yeah. Dude, Rick Scott looks
Thank you, Mr.
like
Chairman.
Senator Fetterman.
You guys ever seen the movie Phantasm? Doesn't Rick Scott look like the fucking... No, he doesn't. That dude had longer gray hair.
Chairman Paul, thank you for doing this. I think I know in my state people have been asking questions about Dr. Fauci for years. So, Dr. Fauci, your entry has made clear that you love being a hero, a celebrity, and here having the eyes of the world upon you. You loved every newspaper profile, every photo shoot, every fancy dinner with the elites. To many Americans who lost family members, who lost trust in our federal government, you're not a hero. Unfortunately, you're a villain. You made yourself the story and abandoned the American people to serve your own ego. To begin, I would like to talk about your relationship with David Marantz. He was the senior advisor in the NIAID, Office of the Director, your office, for 16 years. He was your friend. He was a frequent guest at your house. You reportedly co-authored over 50 scientific articles with him. You turned to him first right after COVID-19 first occurred. Earlier this year, the Department of Justice charged him with conspiracy against the United States.
Oh.
In addition to other charges as part of a conspiracy to conceal information and falsify records to suppress alternative theories about the origins of COVID-19.
Uh-oh.
Now, you've publicly kicked this man to the curb, saying, Dr. Morantz was not an advisor to me on institute policy or other substantive issues. So let's start with the use of personal Gmail accounts and Dave Morantz's relationship with Peter Daszak. Dave Morantz tells Peter Daszak, president of Equal Alliance, and you've got this in front of you, it's Exhibit 1, and it's already in the record as part of this. It says, quote, P.S. I forgot to say that there's no worry about FOIA. I can either send stuff to Tony on his private Gmail or hand it to him at work or at his house. He is too smart to let colleagues send him stuff that could cause trouble. Dr. Fauci, did Dr. Morantz's relationship with Peter Daszak concern you? Yes or no?
Probably not.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under
Dude,
the Fifth
I'm
Amendment
starting to
to the
think even his bodyguard's getting tired of his shit. His lawyer doesn't care. He's probably getting paid a ton of money to be there. Well, his bodyguard's getting paid too, but at least his bodyguard's not being paid by tax dollars anymore like they were. Motherfucker had Secret Service. Trump's like, you're a public servant. Well, you were. You don't need your own Secret Service. Well, I'm getting death threats and my family's get... Dude, you're worth millions. Hire your own.
Constitution.
Did Dave Morantz ever bring documents to your house?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Did you ever receive a text about your work at NIAID to your personal cell phone?
Uh-oh.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Did any text about your work at NIAID that went to your personal cell phone ever become part of federal records?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Did you maintain a personal email account while serving as director?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Did you ever receive work-related communications on that Gmail account from David Morantz?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Did you preserve any work-related communications on that Gmail account from David Morantz?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Did David Morantz ever provide you with documents outside of those two ways that would violate NIH policy for FOIA compliance?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Now let's look at two other communications. You emailed Dave Morantz on January 26, 2020, quote, "It is important that I speak with you tonight. Please call me at home." This is part of Exhibit 2 that you have in front of you. This email is sent the same day, the exact same day you write in an internal document, quote, "Now we know the market was not the source, it was the amplifier," unquote. Would you call the origins of COVID-19 a substantive issue?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Did you discuss COVID-19 origins with Dave Morantz on this phone call?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Now let's take a closer look at the last time you testified before Congress. This is part of what you have in front of you as Exhibit 4, which is part of the record. In June 2024, you testified to Dr. Morantz, quote, "was not an advisor to me on institute policy or other substantive issues. Furthermore, his office is located in a different building from that of the NIAID director," unquote. Is that still your testimony today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
So today, under oath, your testimony remains that Dr. Morantz was not an advisor to you on institute policy or substantive matters.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Now, I've got Exhibit 5, which you have in front of you. On October 24, 2021, David Morantz texted you to provide information about and advocate for the controversial EcoHealth Alliance grant. You thank him and tell him that you will check the information. Would you agree that this shows an advisory relationship between David Morantz and yourself?
Yep.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Would you agree that you two were discussing a substantive issue?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
If documentary evidence establishes that Dr. Morantz advised you regarding EcoHealth Alliance, COVID origins, or grant policy, then your June 2024 testimony would have been inaccurate, correct?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Is there any document in your possession today that would contradict your prior congressional testimony?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Have you deleted, destroyed, or instructed anyone to destroy records after learning Congress is investigating these matters?
Uh-oh.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Are you aware of anyone who did?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
As you know, Dr. Morantz don't face his charge.
You think he was fucking... He went home last night, went to sleep, and that was running through his head all night while he was dreaming about his millions and millions of dollars.
Charges related to destroying records while you distance yourself from him. Is that fair to a decades-long friend?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
When is the last time you spoke to him?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
In hindsight, are you disappointed how you handled COVID? Do you have any regrets?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Dr. Fauci, I want to close with this. Here's how you impacted my family and people close to me. I have daughters with children. You can't imagine the questions they had around vaccines for their kids and themselves, and the pressure, the unbelievable pressure to make the right decision for their health. I can tell you pregnant women who worked with me were so scared because every time they went to the doctor, they were told something different about taking the vaccine, and you caused this. Imagine being a mom trying to protect their kids, or an expectant mother trying to figure out what to do. Every 3 weeks, a doctor tells you a new set of guidance on a vaccine. The haphazard information you released and pushed on the American people with little research is appalling, and why there's so much distrust in our institutions today. That trust is crucial to public health, and you, more than any person or event in my lifetime, have destroyed that trust for millions of Americans. You lied to hundreds of millions of people amid the worst public health crisis in a century. You failed to follow your own guidance. You forced people to watch their loved ones die alone over the phone. It's disgusting. You destroyed the federal government's credibility when it comes to public health. We have entire generations of Americans who, rightfully so, do not trust our institution to keep people safe because of you. This has destroyed decades of progress and lifetimes of work because you wanted to fuel your own ego and be the center of attention. What would you do differently knowing what you know today, Dr. Fauci?
Probably nothing.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
All the evidence is right here, and you still can't bring yourself to tell the truth or apologize because you received an auto-pin pardon from a staffer in the Biden White House. If we have another pandemic tomorrow, millions could die because of what you did to make Americans lose trust in their government when it comes to medicine and health care. How many families have you apologized to had to watch their loved ones die alone?
Goose egg.
You breached public trust, and now you're hiding behind a fraudulent pardon. Your legacy will not be as a man that saved America from COVID, but as a man who destroyed the public trust in America's public health institutions in exchange for 5 minutes of fame. This is how history will remember you. I yield back.
It's 15 minutes of fame. Okay. 15. Now, at the very end, very end, an interesting comment came out of the chair's mouth. And when they do this, I hope they vote yes.
Let's be clear today, what we've seen. I really did want to hear from Dr. Fauci. I wanted to hear perhaps an apology, perhaps some semblance of being sorry for what happened or that judgment errors were made. We didn't hear any of that. But he was subpoenaed here to testify, refused to answer any questions, even after being directed by the chair and being advised of the law requiring him to do so. He has cited a privilege that is unsupported because of his blanket pardon and because he waived the privilege by testifying at the start.
Oh.
I'm going to give you one more opportunity to comply with the law, limited to the period of your pardon. At any point between January 1st, 2014 and January 19th, 2025, did you destroy any federal record or tell anyone else to?
No doubt. Okay.
Under the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Given that you have a unlimited presidential pardon, what is your specific objection that you are making?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
My question was limited to the period of your pardon only. I find your objection unsupported and direct you to answer the question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Because you refuse to answer, citing a privilege that is unsupported because of your pardon, and after being denied to do so, this committee has scheduled a vote next week on a resolution certifying your contempt.
They actually...
Uh-oh. I think it'll pass. They only need 51. Because this is not... Oh, wait. Maybe it's the committee. Ooh, I don't know how many people's in the committee. Either way. If they were going to do it to Trump and his family, if they were going to do it Biden and his family, why not Fauci? It makes sense. You want to be fair and impartial, right? Now we're going to go back to fraud. And we're going to talk about EBT fraud. Yeah, this one's about EBT fraud. And in New York City, we're paying, if you pay taxes, we're paying for Kratom. We're paying for Kratom.
Sold us the Kratom, swiping the card, treating this as food.
Oh, got it. Look at you.
Okay, did you run it like grocery? Yeah, I thought you were cheaper.
Okay.
Even though you know it's fake, put it in the machine, nigga.
My girl got a minimum. Keep stuck right there till the number comes. Leave it smooth, operator looking like a bum.
We swiped the EBT card and treated it as groceries.
Do you have proof that I did that?
Yeah, we do. We have a receipt.
You have a Kratom? All right, let me get a photo of that EBT card, right? You're going to be chilling with the aliens. Nice.
You feel good about yourself?
Do I feel good about myself?
Is this what you do on a fucking Monday night?
I'm an investigative reporter.
You feel shit.
But it's illegal to sell drugs for the card. We have it on video.
I'm not doing anything.
She sold it to her too. They closed the door on us.
Don't touch them. I'm not touching you. All right. Don't touch them.
This man actually threatened to shoot us.
Yeah, we got to get out of here. Go.
Let's get out of here.
My girl's got a city to run. Got the key to the kingdom where the money's from. Never seen the color yellow, never seen the sun.
So the federal government is giving me money that I can take out using my card and then I can buy drugs with it, correct?
He's actually talking from an EV. Oh, it says it right here. An EBT rep.
Great. So that's amazing. I'm going to buy so much Kratom. I'm going to get so high. So I bought my choices. The generous taxpayers in the United States give me all this money to buy all these drugs. So I'm really grateful for their pocketbook paying for my drugs.
My girl's got a little stick. Keep you cool up in the kitchen while you feed the cake.
Not in some states. Not in some states.
Keep you waiting in the window while the tank ticks.
There is money in fraud, but there's no money in exposing the fraud.
My girl got a city to run.
So we're here in New York City at 145th and Broadway. Bodegas like this one, Smoke Shop Organics. When you use the EBT card and you swipe it, it's only supposed to be used for food, groceries. But we found going into these bodegas in New York City that the store owners and clerks are swiping the EBT card for illicit substances like Kratom, which is about to be Schedule 1.
How you doing, sir? You have that Kratom? All right, let me get a photo of that. Yeah.
You know, I used to go to my smoke shop all the time. I would see the Kratom. I'm like, that just looks stupid. Why would I? Never mind. I could see why people would take Kratom. Just not me.
You got only 3?
Yeah. Kratom is a drug derived from a tropical tree native to Southeast Asia whose leaves act as a sedative with opioid-like properties in high doses. Certain Kratom products are scheduled to be banned as Schedule 1 drugs. Because this product is a drug, similar to tobacco and alcohol, they're not eligible to be purchased with EBT.
This one is a EBT card, right?
Note that the undercover journalist specifies that he is paying with an EBT card, to which the clerk responds, mm-hmm.
So my question is, how can you charge EBT card for buying Kratom?
They charge you for cash. You get
Yeah, but cash or food
No,
is the same thing.
No, the cash.
It's a benefit.
No, the cash you can use.
Are you
It's
sure?
cash, Yeah.
You sure?
100%.
The retailer charging the EBT card for these products is violating federal law, specifically 7 CFR 278, which prohibits retailers from accepting SNAP or EBT benefits for anything outside the definition of eligible food, as stated in 7 U.S. Code 2012. Any food or food product for home consumption except alcoholic beverages and tobacco. The same is true at the state level. According to Title 20 of New York Codes, Rules and Regulations, Section 528, food stamps cannot be used to purchase certain items commonly sold by retail stores, such as non-food items, alcohol, or tobacco.
Oh,
This
really?
retailer charging the EBT card for these products is also violating the terms within the SNAP retailer agreement, which is enforced by the USDA, which houses the EBT program. Quote, do not accept SNAP benefits for any non-food items. If you sell items that are not allowed, your store may be disqualified from SNAP and you may have to pay a fine. Your store may also be disqualified if you break SNAP rules.
Anybody believe they're actually going to do that? Anybody actually believe that? Not with Mandami. Mandami will pretty much where they can just fucking buy anything with it. 30% off, of course.
For the record, this is a $100 billion program, and it's estimated that 20% goes to this type of fraud.
So he has Kratom. I went there, I said, do you have Kratom? He said, which one? He showed me. So I put for him the EBT card. Right away, at first, he tried to run it.
Tried to run it?
Tried to run it. You can buy drugs with it.
Well, it's not drug. I don't have
That's
drug.
not drug.
I don't have drug.
What is that? Kratom, what is it?
I don't care. It's not drug. That's legal, my friend.
Is it?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Where are you from, man?
I confronted him. I said, so now I have a question for you. He said, what is it? I said, this is a benefit card from a government.
Yeah.
Cash or food, you're not supposed to sell me drugs with that.
Yeah.
And then he said, this is not drug. I said, no, Kratom is drug.
Ah. Keep in mind, this is a federal funded program, government funded benefits, but the federal regulations prohibit using the EBT card to pay for drugs. But throughout New York City, bodegas are allowing the transaction to go through. Now, these products are not cheap. This is $45. This is $65. In fact, when I went in there and bought these products, the guy next to me said, looks like he's having a good time. Non-essential, non-food items, your tax dollars used to pay for stuff like this. The next store we went to was Fordham Las Cachapas Deli.
How you doing, brother? You have a Kratom? Yeah.
That's a deli? It looks like a fucking smoke shop.
How much is it?
15.
Let me get 10. 10.
The journalist attempts to purchase this
Liquid,
liquid
huh?
kratom product, and the clerk attempts to ring it up as EBT cash. This is highly illegal, but is seen as a common loophole to charge drugs on EBT cards without having to run the purchase as, quote, EBT food.
What the fuck? You guys see this? EBT can be used for rent, bills, and cash. What the fuck?
Which would usually flag the system and reject the purchase.
Is it good quality? I'll be in another word? Huh? I'll be happy?
Be happy.
You'll be happy too?
You're gonna be chilling with the aliens.
Nice.
Okay.
Bet you're glad you left, aren't you, Carmen?
It is like.
But you
to
were
avoid
still
being
tempting.
complicit in this crime ourselves, we used EBT cards that don't actually work. The objective was merely to show that these smoke shop clerks are willing to make the attempt to sell these products using government-funded benefits. Even the attempt to do this is also a crime. According to New York Penal Law 110, a person is guilty of an attempt to commit a crime when he engages in conduct which tends to affect the commission of such a crime.
Can you enter the number?
They did this like, you know how to?
They beat it, right?
Yeah, okay.
To get more clarity on the EBT cash versus EBT food conundrum, we called this number on the back of the EBT card to question a representative and make sure we had our facts right. And what this man admitted genuinely shocked us. I want to buy some kratom with my EBT cards, and they're running it through as EBT cash. That's allowed?
If you're using the card, no, sir. If you're using an EBT card, sir, you cannot purchase any drugs, sir.
Well, I successfully did that today. I went to the store and I got the clerk to...
Okay, sir.
Yeah?
Can you provide me your card number, sir?
No.
You want me to turn myself in? When I go into the store with my card and they say you can use EBT cash to pay for my kratom, what you're telling me is that that's not allowed, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
A physical card, correct.
How can you charge EBT card for buying kratom?
They charge you for cash. You get
Yeah, but cash or food
No,
is the same thing.
No, the cash.
It's a benefit.
No, the cash you can use it.
Are you
It's cash,
sure?
Yeah.
You sure?
100%.
Now, when you pull out the cash, and you can do whatever you want with that cash. Once you put that card in the ATM and you pull out the money, do whatever you want with the money.
And I can pull out that cash from
I didn't even know
the
that.
EBT card.
I didn't know you could pull out cash, and that kind of makes me think fraud's a way bigger than what we all see. And you think maybe these illegals are getting free rent like we thought they were, and now we know why.
Card and buy drugs with it.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want, sir.
So the federal government is giving me money that I can take out using my card, and then I can buy drugs with it, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That's right. The EBT representative openly acknowledges that despite banning these cards from tobacco and beer purchases, some EBT cash users are able to pull out the cash from an EBT terminal and then do whatever they want with the cash anyway. It begs the question, what is even the point of any of these regulations if the user can simply pull out the cash and go buy a big bag of illegal drugs or alcohol or anything with government-funded cash? So it's fully legal for me to buy drugs?
It's your cash, sir. You do what you want with it.
Great. So that's amazing. I'm going to buy so much kratom. I'm going to get so high. There was this gay guy in the store. He wanted to party tonight. He was standing behind me, so I bought.
Your choice, sir.
My choices. Well, it's not my choice. It's because of the taxpayers, the generous taxpayers in the United States, give me all this money to buy all these drugs. I've got 100 ounces of this powder, and I am very grateful for the taxpayers.
So you want to give me your card number?
You know what? Let me go get it, and I will call you back. Thank you. Check. Come on, baby. Come on, let's do it.
It all started when Starlight, that's the code word for one of our undercover journalists.
Tickle in your throat.
Right here.
Despite the EBT cash loophole being so common and accessible, we also found a store that was more than willing to run a Kratom purchase as EBT food.
You guys have, do you have Kratom? The Kratom? I'm sorry, I don't mean to, oh, got it, look at you.
You're so pretty, what's your name? Linda. Linda.
EBT debit.
EBT. Oh, EBT debit. EBT.
I have to find it.
Okay, did you run it like grocery? You did like grocery? Yeah, I did EBT food.
Okay.
So at this location, Lennox Convenience at Malcolm X and 139th, they actually sold us the Kratom, swiping the card, treating this as food. So we're going to go in there and ask him why they did that. Let's go.
It just said
Hello?
$5.99.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi there. Why did you sell this with an EBT card?
I didn't sell that.
You know that's illegal, right?
I did not sell that.
Well, you swiped the EBT card and treated it as groceries.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I did not.
It was you.
You did like grocery? Yeah, I did EBT food.
Okay. Well, that's what two people said happened.
Do you have proof that I did that?
Yeah, we do. We have a receipt.
Let me see that receipt.
It says food.
Okay.
Food. EBT. Food.
Can I see if that's from here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I see it? Can you hand it
Yep.
to me?
Yep.
Yeah, that was dumb.
That's not from here.
Oh, where is that
This is
from?
not the address. Our address is not Hagenman Ave.
See, they're smart.
That's the wrong address.
They know what they're
Yeah.
I
doing.
did not do
The
that.
address is incorrect on the receipt. Why is the address incorrect on the receipt? That receipt was given to us here.
I'm not sure. I just started work today. You're asking the wrong person these questions.
We noticed that the address and business name on the receipt did not match the address of the Lennox Convenience location where the attempt was made. This often means that the fraudulent business is using what's known as a cloned terminal, potentially committing transaction laundering or merchant identity fraud. Certain industries, like illicit smoke shops, struggle to get approved for standard credit card processing. To bypass restrictions, they purchase or program a terminal using the cloned credentials of a completely different legitimate business. According to 18 U.S.C. Code 1343, no one can knowingly obtain money by, quote, means of false or fraudulent pretenses or representations. In this case, New York City Mini Mart and Deli Corp at 684 Hegeman Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We visited this store at 684 Hegeman to inform them that another business is using their address, and the clerk was completely unaware.
What's the address here? Yeah. 680? Okay. So there is a smoke
This has
shop
to be new.
in Manhattan, and they're using the same address here. I have a picture of the receipt. I can bring it here.
Yeah, but it's not us. It's not us. Ours is NYW. Theirs is NYCW.
Different company, but it's the same address. Over there, they're using your address.
Sound like theirs? That's their problem.
No,
Could
that's
be
the
your
address
problem,
here,
too.
right? Yes or no? All right, thank you.
Confirming that Lennox Convenience is not a legitimate subsidiary of this business and has likely cloned their terminal to obscure fraudulent activity to protect themselves from legal repercussions.
Can I have my receipt back?
I'm keeping it because you just said I did something, so I'm going to keep it and I'm going to show
She's not giving the receipt back. She's holding on to the receipt. Do we take a picture of that receipt? Okay, we got a picture of the receipt.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. You still have the picture. What you want me to do, sir?
What do I want you to do? I want you to tell the truth. There was a lady
Never
earlier.
handed me a card.
She never handed you a card. You do
No,
know
it was a guy. You do know that that lady came with a crackhead guy, right?
a crackhead?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of crackheads in this neighborhood. There's crackheads everybody.
Exactly. So I work
All
in
right.
the store and I just started today.
This woman is denying that it happened. You want to talk to her with me?
Totally fine, sir. I'm not doing anything.
She sold it to her too. You sold it to her too.
You did, Linda.
You sold it to her
I
too.
didn't give you anything. And you know that because it didn't work.
But it's illegal to sell drugs for the card. Okay.
You're still telling me that I sold her something and I
Well, the
didn't
receipt,
sell her
the
any of
intent
that.
to sell it is illegal.
I didn't sell that to her.
All right, she's denying it.
Thank you.
All right. They closed the door on us.
And a few of their enforcers in the neighborhood began approaching our crew and nudging them to create a confrontation. This man threatened to shoot us.
Don't touch me.
No, I'm not touching you.
All right, don't touch me.
I'm not touching
All right,
you.
don't touch me. Don't touch nobody. I'm gonna shot you.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here. Go.
Get out of here.
and we decided to de-escalate by walking back to our minivan, where another individual confronted us.
Yeah, make a U-turn. Watch out for this guy.
Oh, this one has the guy in the store.
Unfortunately, we didn't get most of that interaction on camera.
Watch out for this guy. Lock the doors.
And it wasn't just Kratom that we witnessed being illegally sold on EBT cards. Stay tuned for our next installment to see even more fraudulent activity.
But wait, no, that's not going to happen for like a week. He doesn't do these until Wednesdays or Thursdays. Yeah, I'm not going to do this last one. So what did we learn today? Fauci's a fraud. Taking money fraudulently. And then what else? New York City bodegas, EBTs, Kratom. They're doing for Kratom. What else are they selling? I mean, it's a good question, but good thing it's going to happen next week. Because we all have questions, and maybe he has answers. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe. Just maybe. Never mind. Nothing's going to happen. Like I said, this is New York City. You got Bragg, Alvin Bragg, Tish, James, and Eric or Mandami. They don't seem too particularly high on punishing crime or fraud or anything. It's going to get worse. And the way I see New York turning into is Escape from New York. It's kind of getting that way. And if you look at Mandami and then go find the Escape from L.A., the villain in Escape from L.A., could be Mandami. I don't remember what the villain in Escape from New York looks like. I think we'll have to go watch that later. It's a shame. It's a shame. They don't want to catch fraud because they make money off of it. Capitalism. But they want to preach socialism. Can never get out of debt if we keep allowing taxpayer dollars to be wasted. That's why I'm glad they got rid of USAID. I wish Doge cuts were put in place because Mike Johnson didn't want to bring them to vote, to codify them. So all Doge cuts pretty much expired or are about to expire. Bring Doge back. Bring back the Doge. And you know, I was feeling this way. If we really just want to end the war over in Iran, conflict, because never declared war, only Congress can declare war. Dude, just drop some bombs and destroy Tehran. Because even the fucking Israelis, Iranians are tired of their government shit still. They're protesting again, and they're dying again. But, and then, I don't want to, if you think about, they talked about a LNG tanker from the U.S. getting attacked yesterday in Egypt. Weird. A drone attacked a ship in Egypt at a port. Do we blame it on Iran or its backers? Or they deleted my comment on this one. Remember the USS Liberty. Wouldn't be the first time an ally attacked us and tried to blame it on other people. But anyway, excuse me. I think I'm done for today because I'm actually hungry. And my daughter gets here in 45 minutes, so I have an appointment with her to grab keys to her apartment. Man, I'm going to have one kid living in the house next month. Just 1 out of 3. Crazy. Only one more, and I can walk around naked all the time. Come on. You guys, if you had your own apartment or own house and all your kids are moved out, you're going to walk around naked. Why not? Who's there going to tell you not to? Huh? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed a lot of the shit that we went over today, because I think I was supposed to do this 6 days ago, 4 days ago. I don't remember. But then this shit happened yesterday, and I'm like, oh my God. This dude's a fucking scumbag. I've mentioned numerous times that he's a scumbag. And then you're going to see he's going to get away with it. All fraud is probably forgiven in this country. If you're rich enough. If you're high enough in the totem pole. But anyway, I'm not telling you how to think. Not telling you how to think. That would be insane. That would be insane. I would be like, I'm going to go get caught in other channels. And Community Archives 1. If you ever see a Community Archives 1, the letter 1, the number 1, ban on site. Why? Why? A little somebody told me that's an alt for Jeffrey. Wait till tomorrow, guys. I got some good shit. Some good shit. To include, I'm going to show you where Good Boy said that he got a DUI when he was 21. Wonder why my short is that way? I wrote it word for word from what he said. Look. Word for word. So I can make that short. Wait till you see this next one. Wait till you see this next one. I can't believe I heard him say this shit. Just imagine, it's going to come down to Van Halen, a Tahoe, and David Lee Roth. Just wait for this one to come out. And I'll play the original tomorrow. But Jesus Christ, bro. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm just telling you how to think. And enjoy the rest of your Thursday, because tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. Fuck it, Fridays. We'll have some fun. I probably won't be drinking because it's a little bit early to drink. But yeah. Y'all enjoy. And, oh, wait, I forgot. I totally forgot I had that there, and I just forgot till just now.